May I remind you that trading is risky and not suitable for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome to QuantBox Daily. Today is Monday, March 20th. QuantBox, your global macroeconomic quant in a box. Sorry, let me say it slower. Your global macroeconomic quant in a box. QuantBox is this beautiful tool. It collates a whole bunch of fundamental data for you, all the fundamental data that you need. And trust me, we know what you need because everything's been collated by a guy named Wayne McDonald. You know who he is. He's the QuantBox founder, and he's also been in trading for like decades. You know him from FX Bootcamp. You know him from Forex.today. If you don't know what Forex.today is, check it out on YouTube. An amazing channel every single day. Wayne provides fundamental and technical analysis just for New York Open. But he took some time, put a tool together because he realized traders did not have a fundamental bias. And they were having to draw data from a number of different sources and then collate that information, which took a massive amount of time, cost them a whole bunch of money because you have to have a number of different providers. And he said, hold on, let's solve this problem. Let me give people a tool that collates all this information for a really, really, really decent price. Now, 1 week trials is $7.90, okay? This is QuantBox right over here. Look how beautiful this dashboard is. Over here, you got a dashboard that tells you top buys and top sells. We'll go into that in a moment. You can see you got your currency strength charts. You got your strongest trends, CRT data, retail sentiment. This over here, just collating this, working out the percentages, looking at the percentage change. It's absolute gold, my friends. You've also got a beautiful market heat map over here, which tells you what your most bullish and most bearish pairs are for the session. We'll get into this, perhaps not today. What I'm looking at the moment is this heat map's absolutely amazing. But as you know, recently, the markets have been a little bit low on volatility. So what I'm doing at the moment, I'm going through all the pairs at the same time, which you can do underneath the various tabs for currency pairs. As you can see here, we got the dollar pairs. So for example, euro dollar comes up with a strong sell. It's all pointed under a score chart summary. As you can see, a whole bunch of numbers are given to you. You can see CRT data is currently neutral, retail sentiment currently neutral. You can look on the right-hand side to your fundamentals, see how your fundamentals have changed. You also see upcoming news. It's beautiful. Okay, sentiment. So we've got an increase in USD longs, 0.43%. This data is as of last Friday. We've got euro coming down on longs. Okay, so fewer traders buying euro, more traders buying dollar. Okay, that's good. So you can see all this information is collated. You get a score chart summary of -6. Not any green in this table. Okay. Now, this can either be strong buy, strong sell, sell buy, or neutral. Strong sell, easy enough, right? What we do now is jump into our euro dollar chart. We'll come back to the Aussie USD. And we say, well, what's going on technically? Now, you can see here, we've got a sell, and we have closed at resistance for the closing candle for Friday. Price is currently up here, okay? Looking at your H4 time frame, you can see that we've kind of come into this resistance left-hand side. I'm going to just drag this up over here. Okay. Now it's very easy to understand how to identify a potential trade here. All right. We can see here, am I at resistance? Yeah, potentially. On euro, on the H4 time frame, am I at resistance? Yeah, potentially coming down off resistance. So if this is currently bearish, we're going to see lower lows and lower highs on a lower time frame. Let's look at the M15 time frame, right? As you can see here, you've got price having broken down, having pulled back up. Now, you've got this resistance over here. Okay, you can see there, you've got resistance over there. So what you do now is simply say, well, have I got M5? Let's get rid of these zones. I've got resistance there. Have I got lower lows and lower highs, M5? Well, I haven't got higher highs and higher lows. Price came straight up into resistance. Okay, cool. Have I got lower lows, lower highs on the M1? So now all you do on the M1 is wait for M1 to make a lower low, lower high, and that's your verification of going in. If this ends up being bullish, you won't make lower lows and lower highs. So all you do is you find your resistance, you chase it down the line, and you just confirm bearishness down the line. Okay, that's your euro dollar, and you just keep on doing that for the entire day, based on your fundamental bias. Okay, very simple stuff, nothing hardcore about that. Looking at your next pair, you got pound dollar over here. Pound dollar coming through with a bias of sell. Let's take a look at pound dollar. The pound dollar, we've got price also coming up to the top of the excuse me, top of the range on Friday. Okay, looking at the H4 time frame, you can see we don't have this. We don't have a similar thing to what's going on with the euro dollar, but that's okay. If this was bearish, you'd sort of look here and say, well, I've got an M3 over there, weekly M3 over here. Okay, price, this candle came, the FOA candle came down and closed at support. Not a fan of that. You're looking for a lower low, lower high, or price to close at resistance top of this little tiny range over here. So you verify that later. If this candle here closes at resistance, or New York Stock Exchange, well, this is New York candle, then you can then verify that on M15. Okay, so pay attention to that. Looking at the USD CAD, we've got USD CAD as a strong buy. Let's have a look at USD CAD. USD CAD coming through, strong buy. You can see very much sideways right now. I don't like the position of USD CAD for a buy. You are in position from a weekly perspective, okay? Currently, though, the problem with the H4 candle, this one over here, is you aren't closed, you aren't at support, right? You're currently at this resistance left-hand side, okay? Not a great place to be buying, okay? Not a fan of that. You can see here, you've got this support over here. You've got that resistance over there. You need to wait for this. You can see, look at the consolidation. Not a big fan of that. All right, cool. Let's look at Aussie USD. Aussie USD coming through with a strong sell. Aussie USD was the first chart I had open when I went to my MT4 platform. We can see here, price currently at that daily resistance. We were concerned about this higher low. We still are, but that's okay. It doesn't mean you can shy away from the chart. Just simply verify lower time frame. You can see H4 looking quite messy, okay? And this candle here, this 4-hour candle, not currently being at resistance. Okay, and if this was bearish, you'd see lower lows and lower highs on the M15. Now, you might sort of say, okay, hold on a second, 21 below the 55, lower lows, lower highs. I'm totally keen to sell this. That's fine. M15 says it's bearish. There's no higher highs and higher lows. M5, all you're looking for here is a lower low, lower high. Just to confirm, right? Lower low, 21 across the 55, pullback, sell. And when you got that, you verify on the M1 as well. You can see M1 right now, not currently bearish. Lower lows, lower highs is what you're looking for on the various time frames, okay? Easy to do, my friends, because you've got a fundamental bias. You're not worried about buying this. Kiwi dollar coming through neutral, we leave that alone. Why? Well, it means strong versus strong, or weak versus weak. We have other things to pay attention to. Japanese yen pairs coming through with Aussie yen sell. Let's take a look. Aussie yen for the sell. Let's take a look. So here's Aussie yen currently at the bottom of the range. You can see here, isn't this amazing? Because of the fact you got a fundamental bias, you would never have bought Aussie yen at the bottom of the range. Isn't that beautiful? Remember the times when you'd buy something because you think, oh, it's at the bottom of the range, or oh, it's at support, and it goes down? Well, yes, because fundamental bias, right? Now you've got that tool that helps you know what you should or should not be doing in the market. Right now, I'm way out of position for a sell, okay? I can't sell this. I've also got to pay attention to position as well. I'm not going to sell this, but I'm definitely not going to buy it. I'm going to move on, right? Cool. CAD yen, looking at CAD yen, we've got CAD yen bias of sell. Let's take a look at CAD yen. So CAD yen coming through over here. CAD yen, bottom of the range. Again, you won't buy this because fundamentally bearish. In a profit-taking zone. Not a great place to be selling. Let's move on. Euro yen, neutral. Leave it alone. Pound yen. Sell. Okay, cool. Let's take a look. Pound yen for the sell. Pound yen for the sell. Okay, cool. You're coming down. If this is bearish, we should see a trend somewhere. You see they're not seeing much of a trend on the lower time frame. You're looking for a lower low, lower high, and then you're looking to sell this. Okay. If you're getting lower lows and lower highs, you're looking for a lower high M15. You're then looking for a lower high on M5 and M1 to make sure everything's bearish, and you can sell. Recognize you're completely out of position, profit-taking zone down here. I prefer to wait for some kind of indication of trend on the H4 time frame if price is currently coming down to the bottom of the range. Okay, but you can do it however you want. Ultimately, if you got bearishness on M15, M5, and M1, and you're at resistance, then sell. Make sure you know where you're taking profits. Okay, but I don't like that H4 time frame, to be fair. Kiwi yen coming through neutral. Leave it alone. All right, so we got Euro Swissy. Sell, let's take a look. Euro Swissy coming through the sell. Okay, currently at resistance. I don't like the 2155 because this is sideways, okay? But you have got resistance over here. Let's just draw that in. Okay, cool. H4. If this is bearish, the problem is you got this support left-hand side here. I'm not a massive fan of that. I'm not going to sell that. I'll wait for a break of that or price come up to resistance. Let's look at pound Swissy. Pound Swissy coming through with a sell. Let's take a look. Pound Swissy sell, and you've got bottom of the range, middle of the range. Not a fan. Okay, never ever trade in the middle of the range. That's no man's land. Neutral for Aussie Swissy, leave it alone. CAD Swissy is neutral. Kiwi Swissy coming through neutral, leave them alone. Now, of course, if you've gone through all the pairs, it's a lot of pairs to go through. So what you can rather do is go to your score chart summary and say, right, so give me my biggest, my strongest buys and my strongest sells. Now, I recognize that isn't a single signal. It just means fundamentally, okay? You have to verify technically. USD ZAR, let's take a look. USD ZAR. Right over here. USD ZAR, no. I don't like that for a buy. Current top of the range, currently out of position. I can see price heading up. Not a massive fan. I'd like to see a higher high, higher low. You're currently at resistance. Okay, cool. We got that buy over there. Gold, Kiwi CAD. Let's look at Kiwi CAD for a buy. Kiwi CAD for a buy. So we can see Kiwi CAD for a buy. Yeah, not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. You got support over here. I don't like this at all. Buy down here, great buy. Up there, not so lekker. And you got sort of price bouncing around. I don't know. It's very much out of position for me. I'm not a massive fan. Doesn't look like something that's going to work out nicely. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Don't agree with me. Wait for price to get down to support. Okay. Once price is at support, verify M15, M5, M1. You got high highs and high lows. Recognize your position though. Okay. The reason why I don't like this trade, I'm completely out of position for the weekly. I don't like this for a buy. For that reason, I don't like the fact that I'm not trending on the daily. I've got this range up here. I've got resistance up here. If it's a scalp, fair enough. I just don't like the position of this trade. Okay. Going down to our sells, we've covered the yen and the Swissy and the dollar. Okay, cool. Yen, Swissy. Aussie Kiwi for a sell. Let's take a look at Aussie Kiwi. Isn't the score chart summary nice? Just saves a whole bunch of time. So Aussie Kiwi for a sell, can't sell, completely out of position. Going to leave that alone. And then we've done the rest. Cool. So that's it. So you can see, like, unfortunately, we've got a lot of technical stuff right now. It just doesn't fit what we'd like to do with the currency pair. But the nice thing is I'm not going like, oh, well, I can't buy it. I guess I'll sell it. We're not doing that, right? We're sticking to the fundamental bias. Like, I know that you look at this and you say, okay, well, is it as simple as that? Well, it's not really as simple as that. A lot of work goes into collating this data. And if you haven't got this tool, then you don't really have access to the information that's going to help you make decisions in the market. And the beautiful thing is that, you know, this information changes all the time, okay? Obviously based on fundamental data. This stuff changes much slower, but this over here, market heat map, is beautiful, okay? Because this updates all the time, continuously, okay? Just refresh the page and suddenly you get new data. So this is really useful for before a session. So what I usually do is in the morning, I'll go through this process I've gone through right now. I've got a good idea of what I'm looking at. And then I might be like, okay, I want price to come into resistance. So instead of looking at the chart the entire time, I could pay attention to the market heat map and see if suddenly the pair I'm looking at becomes a very bullish pair for the session, right? Very, very handy, very, very helpful. There's your market heat map. You can take a look at that. Of course, what you want to do is, this doesn't represent fundamental bias. So you could say, oh, Aussie dollar USD is currently up. What's the bias in Aussie USD? You can go down here and say, okay, cool. It's a strong sell. So I've got a very bullish pair on the heat map. I've got a strong sell on the currency pair. That means price might have come up to resistance. You then jump into your chart and you say, okay, cool. Aussie USD. What have I got? Oh, price is at resistance. Okay, fantastic. Have I got bearishness? Well, price currently coming down to the support over here. Not a great place for a sell. But if this is bearish, who cares about support? Let's verify that on the lower time frame. Now look at this, right? You get the M15 price comes up to this resistance. Now normally you might, oh, sell. Wait, M5. Are we bearish? Okay, we'll wait for the lower high. And you get the lower high on the M1. Are we bearish on M1? Lower lows and lower highs. Okay. Now you might sort of say, well, price comes up to here and closes there. Still wait for the lower low, wait for the lower high, and it's yours to sell. Okay. But the nice thing is there, that I could have got that just by saying, oh, market heat map. What's happening with my market heat map? I've got Aussie USD all the way up here. I've got a fundamental bias that's bearish all the way over here. And I've got price at resistance on the MT4 daily time frame, right? I need to verify this down the line. Put those things together and you have magic. But it does require patience. It does require discipline. And it does require liquidity. You put all those things together and you're actually a good trader. So I hope you have a good day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. All the best, my friends. All the best. Bye-bye.